Hello, people of the internet. I am back with another reading. Ha! What is this you say? Another reading in 2 days? What? What are these shenanigans? Well, I say, because multi-fanfic a day, you don't know them, then I should be ashamed of you. Kind of let me in on a little secret. And if you plan on reading this, you should probably use VideoPad Video Editor. Why? Because it's so much better than the Windows Movie Maker or whatever you're using. Well, unless you're buying like professional grade stuff. I just got like a demo and it's completely bomb because you don't have to change your settings for anything. I knew I was gonna get a little sick, and voila, lo and behold, I'm kind of sick. But let's get to reading. We're reading. I always forget. Friendship is tragic. Reconciliation. I was about to say my name. Applejack was about to walk out of Rainbow Dash's sight. She followed, peeking down to occasionally spot Applejack between the trees. Rainbow saw the edge of her veil of clouds approaching fast. As she reached it, she began to breathe heavily. She trotted back. She back-trotted frantically in an attempt to push the clouds in the opposite direction. No luck. She only succeeded in breaking a small piece of that drifted away from the mass. She clung to it, tightly hoping to Celestia that Applejack wouldn't notice. Applejack looked over to her shoulder to investigate the seemingly random noises she was hearing. She saw the strange cloud and began walking home faster. Rainbow let out a deep breath, her legs shaking. She was once again desperately trying to convince herself to go talk to her old friend. Worst case scenario, just fly away, no biggie, right? Rainbow thought to herself. Nervously, she spread her wings and leaped into the air. She leveled herself out and very gently glided down. She forced her wings down as she neared the ground, creating enough of an updraft to make her landing as soft as possible. This was the first time in a while she had set hoof on the ground. Applejack immediately turned around and began to look over the chattered mare, not recognizing her at first due to her faded coat-entangled mane. Applejack took a few steps towards her to get a closer look. Rainbow quickly took a few steps back, keeping a safe distance. Rainbow, is that really you? Oh god, that was terrible. That was terrible. Rainbow, is that you? Applejack looked upon the mare with overwhelming joy. Rainbow stood silent, resisting the urge to fly away as fast as possible, freeing herself from the punishments and harsh words her old friends might have in store. Well, I reckon it is. Applejack trotted up to her. Rainbow cowered and closed her eyes as if expecting a brutal beating. My Jesus, what kind of fish is this? This is so depressing. Applejack wasn't sure how to react to this uncharacteristic behavior being displayed by the once fearless mare. Rainbow Dash looked up at Applejack, her pink eyes open wide. I thought they were they're not. I didn't know they were pink. Aren't they like reddish? Not. What are they? I've heard of Dashy. My Little Dashy like 1,000 times. Why am I not remembering this? Oh yeah, it's because I had a French exam today and I completely failed. What is it? Je n'aime pas français. I don't know. Je n'aime pas français. Let's leave it at that. Because I don't know. I don't like it either. It's hard, okay? Well, I reckon it is. Okay. Now come on, Sugar Hugh. There's no need to be scared of me. It's Applejack, remember? Hold on. What? Okay. That's better. I had to go do something. But I'm back! This is why I don't record sometimes, because I have a lot of interruptions. But I could probably do it right now. Rainbow stood back up and nodded. She opened her mouth to speak, but all that came out was a brief moment of broken voice. Applejack walked up to her and hugged her, stroking her knotted mane. I missed you so much. Aw. Applejack continued to hug her while letting a few tears escape. I didn't think I'd ever see you again. To her own surprise, Applejack now found herself laughing and crying at the same time. Rainbow Dash felt more relieved than she ever could have imagined. Despite her worst fears, her friend didn't hate her or seem to feel anything other than happiness. Uh-huh. I'm sorry, Rainbow Dash said in a rough, cracking voice. Her apology caused Applejack to go into a full-on cry, leaving her gasping for breath, soaking Rainbow's mane as she tightly clung onto her long-lost friend. She hardly believed she was really there after so many years. Now, there's no need to be sorry, okay, Rainbow? I just want you to know. I'm not crying because I'm mad at you. I'm just so happy to see you after all this time. We all missed you so much. We looked for you. We looked for you everywhere we could, Rainbow. What I really want to know is, why did you leave? Rainbow Dash couldn't begin to explain the emotion and trauma she had endured. She had held her best friend in her arms as she passed away. If Rainbow Dash hadn't left Pinkie Pie alone, she'd be alive today. I don't understand. I mean, would you really count, I don't know, fellow like two people that actually listen to this? Do you think that you would be like bad for leaving her, or would you like, if you didn't know this was all gonna happen, would you like think back and be like, I shouldn't have left her? Like, would you say that? Let's go, Rainbow. I'll get you cleaned up. Then we can talk. Rainbow nodded in agreement. She lowered her head and followed Applejack home. Apple Bloom squeaked. Rainbow Dash? She ran over to her and rested her cheek up against Rainbow's. Rainbow Dash was surprised to see how much taller Apple Bloom had grown, and still a cutie mark absent from her flank. That sucks. Then, for the first time in a long time, she smiled. I can't believe it's really you. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to tell Scootaloo. Whoa there, Cube. First things first, let's get this messy filly cleaned up. Apple Bloom happily trotted inside and drew a bath for Rainbow Dash, who was excited to experience the comfort of relaxing in a hot bath once again. She began to step in and dipped her hoof into scalding hot water. Rainbow let out a shocked yelp and jumped backwards, landing on her front left hoof leg, which had never properly recovered from her injury. This caused her to lose her balance and fall over. She reached out with her other hoof and grabbed the shower curtain, who had come running back when she heard her yelp. Oop, that was my bad. I guess I forgot to turn on the cold. Wow, that's really a dumb thing to do. It's alright, no harm. Rainbow's scratchy voice broke off into cough, spending all the time above the clouds, breathing in the cold air had left her practically voiceless. Apple Bloom began patting her on the back. So what have you been eating, Rainbow Dash? I mean, you can't, I'm not sure if you can eat clouds. I mean, probably for water, but you're gonna have to go down there for food at some point, right? Well, I'll just leave you to your bath. Apple Bloom trotted out of the room and began whispering to Applejack. After adjusting the temperature to a more reasonable level, Rainbow climbed in. She felt the warm water soak her rough, dried coat. She settled in deeper. Her mane floated in the water. It was much longer now. She ran her hooves through it, separating the colors. She smiled when she saw how beautifully it flowed together. She sunk deeper into the water now at nose level. She looked around the bath, noticing how if she had ever imagined this room before. This is exactly how she'd pictured it. Other than the broken window covered by duct tape, the cobwebs dangling out of the missing ceiling vent, and the plastic bag tied around the sink faucet. But the homeless Rainbow Dash was in no position to judge anyone. Aww. 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 Dude. That's deja vu for me. It's deja vu. She finished her bath up, dried herself, and headed to the family room. There she met Applejack with a warm cup of apple cider. Here you go. This should be help with that scratchy voice of yours. Rainbow took it and began to sip it. She felt it was the most delicious drink she had ever tasted. She quickly drank the rest, spilling some down her cheeks. Whoa there, Rainbow. No ponies gonna try to steal it from you. Wow, that's what my mom says. Oh my god. That's what my mom says. Stop eating so fast. No one's gonna steal it from you. Kapow! Sorry, but this sure beats the rainwater I've been drinking. Oh. I'll be right back. That's messed up. Like she's been drinking rainwater. Rainbow took a seat on the small sofa. She tucked her legs in and looked around the house. Applejack returned with her drink. So, Rainbow, I want you to tell me everything that happened. I want you to know why you left, where you've been, and what you did. No secrets. You know I wouldn't lie to you, so show me the same respect." She cleared her throat and took another drink, her voice still breaking as she went on to tell Applejack all about the day that Pinky died, in as much detail as she could recall. Applejack felt as if the old wound had been split wide open, and she listened to every excruciating detail on Pinky's last words filled her mind. "Well, I'm glad to know that she didn't die alone. It was good, and she had a friend with her." Rainbow Dash hadn't thought about that fact before. "So anyway, then I heard some pony coming, so I flew away as fast as I could. I didn't know where I was going or what I was going to do. All I knew was I wanted to get away fast. So I flew, faster than I had ever flown before, right to the middle of the storm. Then bam, huge rainbow. I should have known it was you, Rainbow." That's kind of ironic because they all kind of, I guess they were all affected by the first rain boom, and then to be separated by the rain boom because after that moment no one really loved each other anymore. It's kind of ironic, really. Really? Well, then that's cool then. You're welcome. Wait, hold on, what? I knew I should have known it was you, Rainbow. If you're the who made the rainbow that pushed away the clouds, I think you saved my life. I don't know how much longer I would have lasted in that storm. Really? That's cool. Then you're welcome. Hey, do you have any food? I'm starving. And please, no apples. I'm so sick of apples. Oh, by the way, I've been stealing your apples from your orchard from your lab for the past couple of years. Okay, so that's where she's getting the money. Oh, sorry. That's where that's where she's been getting all that food to live from. Applejack, I twitched. What? You said no secrets? Lucky for you, I'm a forgiving person. Applejack laughed and went to grab some food. She looked in her kitchen. There she found an assortment of apples related foods. She opened her fridge. Apples, apple pie, apple cobbler, apple jelly, apple rolls, apple muffins, apple everything. But among the apples she found a few celery stalks. They belonged to Big Macintosh, but he'd still be his way helping out the Appaloosa for a few weeks. So, wait, aren't you in need of help? Like, didn't it say that they're like she's struggling for food? I mean, for money? Sweet thanks, Rainbow Dash began to eat. Applejack sat down and watched impatiently. She began to whistle, hinting at her impatience. Rainbow didn't seem to notice that she enjoyed every little nibble of delicious celery. She peeked over to notice Applejack staring at her. Feeling awkward, she continued to eat, only more slowly now. "Will you please hurry up? I'll get you more after you finish telling me what happened." "Fine, fine, sheesh." Rainbow finished the other half of the stalk with a single bite, then the other two in only a few more bites. So, where was I? Oh yeah. Her voice was beginning to sound a little bit more normal. She looked up at the ceiling and tried to recall everything that had happened to her. So she went on, continuing her story from where she left off, painting a vivid picture for Applejack as she could. Applejack just listened, trying to picture everything Rainbow was telling her. Rainbow Dash hovered there, looking back at the distance of Ponyville. The storm was nearly completely torn apart. She spotted a patrol of police Pegasi flying in formation beneath her. They seemed to be searching the ground for anything suspicious. She continued to fly away from Ponyville, now above the Everfree Forest. There she saw a large gray blanket of clouds that seemed to be drifting around on its own. She flew up on top of them and rested. Her front leg was bleeding. The bone was clearly broken. This was due to the forceful impact when she hit the ground. And oh my god, you never got that fixed? Shouldn't have you died from infection like 2 days anyways? What kind of crap is this? Isn't it like, I think, don't you get like infection after 5 days? And um hopefully it was like like a, what is that, compact fracture? I don't know, but if the bones like popping out and it's like in your skin, then you're gonna die because that's infection territory. She flew down and saw a few articles of clothing hanging on the clothesline. She snatched a small sock and flew back into the clouds. She tightly wrapped it around her leg, hoping to set the bone and simultaneously stop the bleeding. She winced as the purification. I don't think that's even enough to help you. Otherwise, everyone would be breaking their legs. Actually, wouldn't you be in, like, epic pain? What have I done? Rainbow questioning herself that day. She thought about Pinky and began to hold to her stomach and cry, and eventually cried herself to sleep. Oh. She woke up late in the evening. The moon was shining brightly down, and the stars. How do you remember that? Rainbow hadn't recalled ever seeing the moon so large before. Then again, it was mid-fall. This was the time of year the moon appeared the largest. Why is that? She looked through the clouds, and she saw the edge of a forest in a distance just before the horizon. Below her were the flats of Canterlot. Thousands of tiny lights littered the ground. This was the farthest she had ever been from home. She found herself in both emotional and physical turmoil. Her leg pulsed with pain. Her heart throbbed with every beat. Her mind convinced that she single-hoofedly caused Pinkie Pie's death. She stayed hidden for a few days, occasionally leaving her clouds to snatch up food in the middle of the night. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Rainbow soon grew accustomed to her daily lives and nightly routines. Okay, so she just stole food from people that were sleeping, ponies that were sleeping. Thief! She's got an apple. Take her down. Okay. She watched the business put up close out sale signs and eventually closed. Sugar Cube Corner was ravaged. Its broken windows were boarded up. The library was locked down, now empty. Its books distributed across the other equine libraries. Even the Carousel Boutique was closed for business. She flew above Fluttershy's house, peeking through the clouds. It was also empty. A faded for sale. Ooh, what? A faded for sale sign was sticking partway out of the snowdrift. Rainbow Dash thought of the possibility that this was also her fault, or that she at the least had set it in motion with her mistakes. Jesus Christ, what happened to Fluttershy? I sense conspiracy. Rainbow rested on a large blanket of clouds above Sweet Apple Acres. She was shivering, cold, and hungry. She decided to see what she could find. She looked through the clouds. She saw a vast orchard of bare frost-covered trees. There was a dim light of fire flickering through the windows of Applejack's home. Rainbow flew over to look inside. There she saw a large basket of apples sitting on the floor just on the other side of the window. With the tip of her hoof she began to open the window as quietly as possible. Luckily it was unlocked. She stuck her head through, gripping the handle of the basket with her teeth. She backed out and quickly flew back. Oh crap. I hate sitting in this position, but it's the only way I can record, because I don't know who it was. You said to record louder, and I'm 2 feet away from the 2 inches away from the monitor. It's burning my eyeballs. She thought about how warm it felt inside Applejack's home compared to... I'm disconnecting this. Thank you. I was tired of that USB there, man. I couldn't get my arm position to read. She thought about sneaking in for the night, but eventually decided the risk was too great. She ate a couple of apples, then curled up and tried to sleep through the night. Hey, so it was you. I remember when you opened that window. I thought I was losing my mind. Applejack interrupted. Yeah, so I was hungry. Applejack felt a pang of sorrow as she thought about all the times Rainbow Dash had been so close to her. If only she was known there. Then she could have saved her from enduring all that loneliness. She could have saved her from so much pain and suffering than she could have imagined. Well, that's pretty much it, I guess. Pretty much. Well, yeah, unless you want me to tell you, I just sat on the sun clouds, literally kicking the gym to drink water and stealing your apples for 2 more years. Well, if that's it, I'm glad to have you back. Wow, that's such a depressing life. Yeah, I noticed. This is so depressing. Rainbow Dash continued to look at the floor. She couldn't bring herself to make eye contact with Applejack after lying to her. Truthfully, Rainbow Dash had done some awful things in between the time she had told Applejack about and now. But it was something she... What? That Pinkie, even more than her own mistakes. This was a much darker part of her life that she had left her a changed pony, although it wasn't showing now. She had a piece of evil locked inside her heart and mind. So, Rainbow, would you like to know what I've been up to lately? Rainbow Dash looked at Applejack's hooves. Of course I would, AJ, but first, how about those celery stalks? Applejack laughed and trotted off to the kitchen. Rainbow sat there thinking about what she had done during her time in the flats. Not all parts of Canterlot. What the? Ah, man. No. crap. Applejack laughed and trotted off to the kitchen, blah blah blah. Not all Camelot was a luxurious hotspot. The media makes it out to be. Like any major city, there's a bad side. I know. I know. Here it's called 4th Street. 4th Street. There are many. There's also Grove Street. Um, they're pretty bad. You probably you'll try to try to get to 7-Eleven, and you'll see a bullet whiz past your head. Most of the time, maybe not. Maybe someone just wants to shank you. That's the end of the story, by the way. See, it says, this is the last line. There are many deeds left unpunished, and many actions unaccounted for. Rainbow Dash made sure that there was no exception during her time there. Holy crap. This is getting steamy.